everybody, welcome back to FurnaceClans. So down at our adamantine dig, we filled in the last of the little magma pit we had there. I'm still listing this as a magma flow, but it's filling with water, so I'm going to assume it's going to act like the other one where it just kind of died off, and we'll just floor it up to make sure that we're safe. Got some blood in the water and whatnot, but we're going to open up our, well, let me rephrase that. We're going to close the water. I believe it's this one. Yeah, the water release. We'll pull that lever, and we'll open the floodgate so we can start draining the dig from here. And hopefully I've got everything hooked up right, otherwise it's going to be a mess. But then we should be able to get down here and finish our cleanup, etc., etc. From there, I'm pretty sure I can dig this layer of adamantine out. I don't think I'll have a problem until I'm down on this layer, this 2x2 here, because it doesn't line up with this one. So I'm pretty sure I can mine out this layer and this layer completely. And then this will be where we pop the spire. So what I'm planning on doing, something I haven't shown you yet, is we come up here to the OMG, which is still filling. And that takes a while. It takes, I want to say, about a season and a half to fill up. My minecart delivery system is efficient, but, you know, there's only so much you can do. Unless I pump stack, which is a whole different story, and I'm not in the mood to build one of those right now. Anyway, I'm digressing, aren't I? Up here at the OMG, if we take a look at our stairway in, I've started drilling it down. And if we bring this down, okay, so here is the first cavern layer. And it's getting ready to crack the first cavern layer. And what I'm going to do is, once the OMG is open, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to dig this out. I've got a Forgotten Beast up here. If we take a look at him. He's just composed of flame. I'm not too worried about him. Usually flame dies really quick to crossbows. But what I'm hoping it does is it invites a couple of these other FBs that have been floating around down here for ages up. And maybe some of the undead. Then I'm going to carry that thing down. I'm going to go through Cavern 2 and 3. And if we bring it all the way down, I'm going to bring it down to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it into this wall. And I'm going to let it feed up from up here. I'm going to wall off this entire section so that they don't come through the doors and break through those. I'll figure that out once I figure out exactly where the stairway comes down. Then I'll punch through here into this. And I'll wall off. Whoops. Come on, mouse. Knock it off. There we go. All right. Let's try this again with keys. There we go. And I'll wall off over here so that they can't come into the fort proper without going through the OMG. And that's how I'm going to try and deal with the circus when we decide to do that. But one thing at a time. First, I've got to redig out everything. First, I've got to refill the OMG and get that active, so that once we crack the first cavern, if anything comes chasing us, it's going through the OMG and not through the fort. So, that's what the plan is right now. We'll be draining this out for a bit. Let's see. Well, my floodgates haven't been opened yet. I think my lever's pulled. It is. So at least we stopped getting more water. And we'll get that drained out. In the meanwhile, one of my craftsmen had an accident with a minecart. He actually broke his spine. His middle spine is broken. I'm not sure how well that's going to end up. He may be paralyzed for life. And that is from a logging run where somebody let go of the minecart and he took out 3 dwarves. 2 of them were all right. He got his spine broken through his steel armor. Only so much you can do there. Dwarves. What do you want? Drunken idiots. It looks like we've pretty much gotten through our forestry area here, our little tree farm. And other than that, life goes on here in the fort. We're just kind of chilling out and taking care of business. So, randomly, I want to share with you a dwarf that I never really looked at previously in any form of depth. And that'd be Il56 Ceiling Spatters. He's obviously been well named. He just got into an accident due to a cave-in because I wasn't aiming my things well, apparently. I thought I had everything straightened out, but apparently I missed a step. But, oh well. But, so he's bruised up in legs, his head's bruised, things like that. He's almost never sick. He's quite quick to heal, agile, and slow to tire, so he's a great worker. But then he gets into a couple of oddities. He's got amazing spatial sense and a very good feel for social relationships. But he has an iffy sense for music, an iffy memory, poor focus, little linguistic ability, a very bad sense of empathy, little patience, and very bad analytical abilities. So what you're telling me is I have Forrest Gump. So, when in doubt, if he's going to give himself that close of a name, meet Forrest. I just thought you'd get a kick. So here we are. We've dug off one of the layers of adamantine, figuring we're safe. And now I'm digging down just a bit to see if we can get another layer of the adamantine out without popping the spire that's 2 layers down. Let's see how this works out. I'm kind of recording at the moment just in case we do a circus release. It looks like we should be safe. Yep, we're good. Alright, don't need to worry about this. So, our adamantine dig has been pretty successful. We've gone through 3 layers of adamantine. We've taken out 2 core chunks of the pillar. When we go down 1 layer, if we keep going down, we're risking breaking open the spire. I could probably get at these edges here. I don't know if it's really worth the effort. It's a lot of work to get down into there. As you guys have seen across the last couple of episodes, it takes a lot to get in and out. To be able to dig around it, to be able to get the water in, things like that. It's not really worth it to me to keep going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. We'll collect up this adamantine, we'll get the strands set up, and we'll go from there, and I'll figure out what I'm doing with that while we wait for the king. Currently our strands are 1 page, 2 page. We're starting our 3rd page of strands. We've got a decent amount of adamantine still here. I figure I'll get another page worth of adamantine strand. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it from there. I'll probably just end up creating some armors. That'll be my most likely usage for it, is just setting up some armor. I'll probably give it to the Jedis primarily. I should have some pretty good armor smiths at this point, so I'm not too worried about that. So we'll go from there. So in preparation for eventually cracking open the circus, we've cleared out all the adamantine. The atom. I forget. I think it's adamantine. We cleared it all out, and if we come up the corridor, I have walled it off, so we will no longer be in danger of cracking it from that direction. Our next step is, once the OMG is fully refilled, it's already up and running, but I want to get it filled in. We're going to crack Cavern 1 and see what happens. Alright, so we're looking pretty good for the OMG. We're filled up to 3-4 with a bit of 5 in the corner. Time to shut it down. Now we're going to remember the levers. Let's see, that's the starter. This is the D cart, so we'll pop the D cart. And what that does is if we come down here, which is on this side of the wall we put up, we will eventually get a bridge here, which will decart our mine carts. Here we go. This is for everybody who hasn't seen the magma line in motion before. So as the carts come down, it'll fill up into this, basically a derail ramp. Oops. I left the first one open. I need to go flick that. So these will collect up. Let's turn that back off. Once I've got all seven down here, well, 6. One's actually stuck inside the impulse ramp. Some form of collision or another, or some race condition occurred and jammed one of the carts up in the line. I believe these are forbidden. They are. We'll turn that off. At some point here, we'll get the other 2 down. Where are they? I'm not sure. Oh, I wonder if that's my item spam. Let's unforbid that. I'm missing 2 carts. Lovely. I wonder if... Oh, there's one. I wonder where the other one is. Might have been a disappearing minecart. Okay, so we're going to have to close down this portion of the system to fish that minecart out. That's the source gate. Okay, so... we'll swap that around so that we can eventually get down into the fill channel. We can fish out that minecart. I'm not sure where the last one is. Probably went the way of the bug. Those unaware, it's possible to just completely lose a minecart. Don't know how, don't know why, it just happens. I'm not skilled enough to determine why that occurs. I also haven't reverse engineered Toadie's code, so I really wouldn't know. Alright, so other than that, the next step of our process, now that the OMG is up and fired up, actually, let's go to Dwarf Manipulator for Labors. Now, of interest, Forest, he's one of my miners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off mining on everybody else, and Forest is going to have to run. Come on, I couldn't resist, guys. Give me a break. That's weird. 158 should have been a miner. Let me view him. Let me center on him. Huh. You know what? I wonder if I'm short on picks. Yeah, I am. Let me create some picks. I think they're under weapons. Let's see. Forge 3 steel picks for me. That should do it. Now, if we come down here, next step up is we're going to mine an up-down stairway, and this will pierce Cavern 1. So if any of my flyers down here get uppity. Now I've got 3 mega beasts that are in the area. I've got Momu's, who is a quadruped composed of flame, fan-like antenna. We've got Naked, who is another towering quadruped composed of flame, bit emancipated, and Ina wanders around through here. I'm not quite sure where she's at right now. Ina finally finished the Eternal Fireball fight with one of the undead pieces. I guess I finally got close enough for Ina to kick it while it was on fire, and it just burned away and went away. I'll be honest with you, after so much spam, I gave up even caring what was going on. Just utterly gave up. So, I don't know. So what's going to happen here is, yep, all right, we've already got him coming. Where are you, Forest? There's Forest. And it's coming through the migrant entry. So Forest has made it down to dig out our stairway. He's going to dig out the first one. There he goes. Doesn't look like Momo's cares about that. So we've got those digging out. Another inaccessible item, that's always fun. So it looks like Forrest made it through and looks like he's running home, so that works out. We're gonna leave that open for a hair. What I want to do is I want to see... Actually, you know what? There's a better way to do this. Where is Ina? Ina, view. Giant skinless pterosaur, fan-like antenna, ravening, beware of fire. Okay, so Ina can shoot fire, but she doesn't fly. Okay, that answers that question. So the next step is we need to build a stairway. Yep, that should line up. And then the next step will be to build it down onto the ground layer, which will definitely get Momo's attention. So, one thing at a time. This may cost me a dwarf or two, but, you know, I'm bored. I am bored. Did I mention I'm bored? I'd like this to be done eventually. Okay, so we've closed that. Okay, we're still waiting on the drain lever to pull. And I need to go dig through the impulse elevator and see if I can locate the other cart and just make sure it's not hiding up in there somewhere. So I'll bring it back. So we've built our stairway on level 93, and down on 92 is where Momo's is. I'm not sure how well this is going to go. I'm relatively sure it's going to go badly, but we're going to try this. So we're going to build an up-down stairway on the level of Momo's, and we'll see what happens. So Agent Warm Fence is on his way down to go see if he can build out that last stairway. It looks like he can't see Momo's. For whatever reason, it looks like he doesn't care. Somebody's rushing an injury. So we have a stairway down to the, what do you call it? First cavern. It's built, it's solid. Let me take a look at something here. If we take a look, Momo's should be able to travel to the fortress through there. So he can walk. Huh. Come up a layer, he could go around. How very interesting. So he's not picking up the fact that he can path yet. Okay. With that corridor built though, once we get our builder inside, okay, he's already in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close up the migrant entry here. Actually, and we're going to close the outer hatch on the trade. And which one's migrant entry? Migrant room north. That one. All right. And the reason for that, if I can go to the right place, is so that any forgotten beast that comes in doesn't start hatch hunting, and he'll get pushed into here, and he won't decide that coming all the way up and trying to come into the fort via the trade depot is such a grand plan. So I don't know when one of our forgotten beasts down there is going to be willing to give it a go. I was hoping in the near future. I was expecting more excitement out of this. But now we're going to have some patience. We're going to have to just kind of let that sit there and see what happens for a little bit. Because I don't want to expose the fort too badly to these forgotten beasts. I want them to go through the OMG. So I'm hoping we can get them to path a bit. And then deal with things. What I may do is let a dog or two loose and see if they can trigger it. There's an idea. Put up a pen on the other side. Well, hang on. Let me think about this. If I put up a pen for dogs, like let's say here. Right? And then I turn this into a pen pasture. And I assign a dog or two to it. And then I come in and I remove the pen pasture. One or two is definitely going to float into the OMG. That's a given. It's something to think about as a way to put some pets down. Use some dogs as bait. See if they can wake up our forgotten beasts. These guys have been sitting on the wall edge for so long. I'm afraid their pathing has just gone to sleep on us. So, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. So I don't know when Ina decided to come in, but apparently she did. So Ina got herself tagged up here. So she came up. I missed it. I don't know when this happened, but I'm glad I was being cautious because we're not far after I just... Because I'm not far after I just left the last piece off. So we're talking maybe days inside of the fortress. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on here. So right now she just got dinged by some spikes because she went down a little too low. Looks like she got hit. Yeah, she's banged up a bit. Its head is melted. So, yeah, she's not in her happy place right now. Beware it's fire. Apparently she's not fireproof completely. Oh, yeah, no, she's in a bad place. Ina's going away. Bye, Ina. Now, you do have to be careful because, you know, magma-proof, Forgotten Beasts and stuff like that can certainly give you a headache. Or make a mess of things. She's just kind of floating 3-4 magma there. Okay, that's weird. I thought she was wounded. Oh, she was. We just burned off all the fat. So she's not hurt anymore. How curious. Alright, well, I'm not sure what else she's going to do here. So, we burnt... The fat on a lot of its bits and pieces have melted off and are gone. But she's feeling pretty peppy. Well, we'll just have to see what happens, I guess. And here's what happens when you blink. The corpse is down in the magma. Apparently she did die off from wounds. I don't have a combat report, only the first 2 strikes of the iron spikes. So apparently she went down, and that corpse should melt away before it becomes undead, I hope. I'm still getting that inaccessible spam. I'm not seeing X or XX on the corpse yet. So I'm just going to have to keep an eye on this and make sure nothing horribly evil happens to me. I don't think the corpse is fireproof. I've yet to run into a fireproof corpse. Looks like we got some smoke. There it goes. Okay, we got some smoke. Gotta wait for the spikes to go down again so I can see in there. There we go. The corpse is on fire and getting damaged. So that corpse should disappear. And with those spikes retracted, all I've got is smoke now. I don't have a corpse or anything like that kicking around. Somewhere or another is a child. Wow, that's a long jump for that. Alright, and Momo still doesn't care, but that's one of our deadly FBs that I was concerned about getting in. We've had another birth. We're up to 133 citizens, 7 more, and we can open up the front gate and see if we can't get the king in. So there's Momo's. That's Nicket. So it might be time to try drilling in a little deeper. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to play dodge them with these Forgotten Beasts. So I think we're just going to wait. We're going to let that sit. Let's see, what is it? It's late summer. It's 14th of Galena. I'm going to wait until mid-fall before I try and do anything drastic to get those Forgotten Beasts to start pathing. So I'll bring you back in a bit. In other news, Tomato Priest has finally become a legendary +5 engraver. He's smoothed out tremendous amounts of area to become that good. But now that he is, we're going to remove that, and we're going to set him to engraving the King's Chambers for when he gets here. So, and that's his tomb for when he gets here too. And there we go. Now, if I'm right, yeah, okay. It's not used for burial yet. That's good. So we'll have him engrave those, and hopefully we'll have the king in a very, very happy state on arrival. Well, it's early spring. I was hoping the save game and reset was going to get these guys to move, but apparently not. So we're going to try something with the dogs. Right after I get this migrant entry open. Like so. Next up, put in that little zone I was talking about. We'll make that a pen. And pen pasture information. We're going to put our 2 dogs into there. And we're going to take our 2 dogs out of here. And he just decided to, what the heck. Let's have a fire. Alright, so I'm going to keep an eye on him and wait for these dogs. Alright, and our dogs are now in place, so I'm going to close our hatch back up so they don't just wander right back into the fort. Then we're going to see if this plan works. That forest fire is having a good time for itself. I don't know if we should call it a forest fire, though. It's really a brush fire. It hasn't lit up any of the trees. It's just kind of burning everything on the ground up. I'm not quite sure what it's up to. Okay, that's closed. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the... Actually... nope, stop. Q. No. I. Okay, there we go. Pen pasture information. We're going to unset these dogs from it. And I'm going to remove the zone. Now, let's see what these dogs do. And there goes one. He's going to the OMG. Alright, that didn't work as planned. Oh, bother. Alright. Well, rats. Alright. That did absolutely nothing for me. So I wanted to share with you guys. I'm waiting on these puppies to be delivered. But I just had 2 more births. I'm up to 138 citizens. We're getting on endgame here, guys. 2 more kids. And I need to start working on opening up the doors so I can bring the king in. For when, if and when he ever gets here. So we're going to be opening up the surface again here shortly at this rate. Alright, so we've got our 2 puppies in place. Let's seal up the bridges. So with our bridges sealed up, let's go set these puppies loose. Alright, the puppies have been set loose. Let's see what they do. Alright, they've started to wander around a little bit. It looks like it's going to take them a while to actually work their way down. So, this may take a bit for them to set anything off. So, we'll bring you back in a couple of minutes. Or whenever this actually happens. So, it's been about a week. And, the scent of fresh and nubile puppy is not enough to interest our, flame source predators down here. This is how far they've got. Oh, come on. This is how far. Jeez. Here we go. I love cursed dust. They drive me nuts. Not. But this is as far as they've gotten. Nowhere. So, all things considered, we're gonna pop these open again. We are going to get one of these puppies squished, but oh well. And at this point, it's just kind of a, well, since that's not working, there was something else I wanted to do. And I hadn't done it yet, because I was hoping I was going to get these Forgotten Beasts to come up. But with the idea that the king's coming soon, I want to get in some floor hatches. So I'm going to build some floor hatches in. And what we're going to do is we're going to lock these anytime I've got the king or migrants or anything like that coming through. I'm going to lock these up so that, what do you call it? The FBs won't try and come in. Now, with our puppies coming inside, and that being built, we're going to build out another up-down stair down here. And I'm going to knock these trees out. And we're going to see if we can actually work down there without torquing off the FB, since he doesn't want to come out and play, but we're going to see how this goes. Alright, so we've had an interruption by Forgotten Beast. So we were finally able to see him, which means he saw us. Not sure what all that's going to do. The forbidden area. It's not a forbidden area. Oh, because he's in a forbidden area. Okay. So we'll have to wrap that a little wider so that he can actually do his work from those squares. There we go. And another cloud of dust. Doesn't look like we got Momos to actually get himself moving there, though. Well, let's see if we can unsuspend that and get things going. No, doesn't look like we can get that going. It does look like we have some idiots just wandering around down here on Cavern 3, though. There's a whole bunch of kids. About that population thing, we may not have them for long. Alright, we're going to do this a little differently. Squads. Let me get the iron arrows and the copper arrows. Come down here can deal with Momus. Alright, our first of our intrepid dwarves has come downstairs. He's got no buddies and he's not doing anything. You know, all things considered, let me make sure he remembered to bring bolts. Won't be the first or last time that happens. Oh, look at him. He brought ammo. Let's not be able to see him. I'm going to wait for him to get a couple more of his buddies down here before we engage Momus. I don't want him going one-on-one. And in grand tradition, one of my Marks dwarves has had a bring your kid to work day today. Alright, looks like we're getting our squads together here. Yeah, we have engaged. Alright, pause. So I want the iron arrows and the copper arrows to do a kill order on Momus. He hurled the ball of fire. Hasn't hit anybody yet. Just, okay, there we go. Let's see, another shot in the lower body. So let's take a look at Momus here. He's lost 2 parts of his body already just by being shot by a crossbow bolt. He fell over. Another shot was taken. Took out one of his legs. Let's see, so far he's lost left front leg, left rear leg, lower body, right leg. Flame critters just, they don't stand up. They get taken out pretty easily. I don't think there's even going to be a corpse. Oops, I take that back. Rear leg flames, moment. Okay, so that's just his flames. I'm not sure if any of this will res up, actually. Okay, so let's, okay, so our squads undid themselves. I don't know what we can do with this. I don't know if we can dump this or if this will even res. Well, let's try and dump it anyway. Let's extend safe and sound. Not that this is overly safe or sound, but... There, and maybe we can get these bits and pieces dumped, and somebody bestowed a name on their crossbow. So that takes care of Momus. Bye, Momus. Oh, we can unsuspend that. And with the death of Momus, and before we start engaging the cot, and building out the rest of this while we try and dump bits and pieces of Momus here, I'm going to have that be the end of this episode of FurnaceClans, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you're enjoying. We are getting close to the end of this. We are getting into endgame. So, as always, thanks for watching.